Good evening, dear friends. The Gospel reflection of the Holy Thursday, year C 2022. The theme, the institution of the Holy Orders. In this passage, John speaks of Jesus' gesture in washing the disciples' feet. In the ancient times, washing of the feet is the gesture of hospitality. After a long journey, the feet of the visitors can be dry and dirty, and so the owner of the house becomes the servant by washing the visitors' feet as a sign of welcome and cleansing, so that the guest will not dirty the house. Water in John's Gospel has the meaning of God's power, of God's grace. Jesus shows them the common gesture of hospitality. He gives them an example of what the church will do. When Christ washes their feet, He cleanses them and He imparts His grace to them. We might be thinking that this feast is only for ordained ministers. It is both for the ordained ministers and the lay faithful. When we all exercise the priesthood of Christ by the gesture of washing the feet of others, meaning to be of service for others to encounter Christ. The ordained ministers, the priest who celebrates the Eucharist, symbolizes Christ Himself. Christ, who knows His absence will have an effect on the disciples, and so He had to institute His presence, physical presence in the church, and His ministers, the priests. Therefore, the ministerial priesthood is the sign of Christ present. This is why when we have priests, it's because Christ, who loves His church and continues to give us priests so that He Himself can be present. Ministerial priesthood, which Christ institutes in this passage, can be seen in the message and the gestures of Christ Himself, and also the reason why Jesus strike a dialogue with Peter and no other disciples, particularly the disciple whom He loved. Priesthood is a kind of leadership. We see the role of Peter, which Peter would help to imitate from Christ Himself in order to strengthen his brothers. It is a kind of leadership which Peter was against at first. Are you going to wash my feet? In other words, excuse me, you are the master, you are the teacher. How could you do such a thing? At the end, Jesus will tell them, do you realize what I have done for you? You call me teacher, master, which I am. Therefore, if I, who is your master and your teacher, who washes your feet, do also for others. Dear friends, the kind of priesthood Christ refers to is the way of humble service, the way of humility, the way of laying down one's life for others. May God bless us all.